I just want to tell you I am so excited, honored, and privileged to be here as your new superintendent president. Thank you all so much for coming. So as you know, this is our annual State of the College address. It's an event that brings back our faculty, full-time and adjunct, back to campus in preparation for the start of our new academic year, which begins on Monday. I don't know if you feel the jitters, but I feel them on behalf of you, right? Getting all prepared. I can't really see you with the light shining in my eye. I know there's a lot of you out here, but if you don't mind, will the faculty please stand and be acknowledged? Here this morning. For those of you who could make it this morning and adjunct later tonight, thank you so much for being here. We also have our very hardworking, meticulous maintenance and operation professionals who have attended to every detail to make the campus a place where students and faculty, we feel safe, and we're so proud to step on this beautiful campus. I've been here for about a month now, and every opportunity I get to stop and talk to them, I mean, it's a beautiful campus, more beautiful than I even remember it with this building and other buildings, but I want to really express my appreciation for the hard work that's gone into keeping it looking so nice. So for those of our M&O staff, I hope they've been able to break away. Would you please stand and be acknowledged? There are many other dedicated classified staff and managers whose work extends into and for some throughout the summer to carry out college operations and to prepare for the new year. They've been busy with student outreach. I want to say, my God, you've done a fabulous job. I've been looking at the numbers. Thank you for that. There's also been lots of assessment, orientation, counselors preparing ed plans with students, getting students registered. Then there's those who've been busy paying the bills and even submitting the documents that were required to keep us all legal. So if you would please, classified staff and managers, will you all please stand so that we can recognize your contribution. I wanted to find out, do we have any students here today? Well, we're going to talk a lot about students today, but I want to say, for those of you who are supporting our Associated Student Government, it looks like we've got a wonderful crop of new students, and the opportunities that you provide in developing their leadership skills is greatly appreciated. Can I see the individuals who are actually working directly with the Associated Student Body? Can you please stand and be recognized? Joanne Garcia, are you here? And also, we would like to welcome our community partners who are here with us today. I want to thank you for showing your support and interest in the college and through your presence today. Can you please stand, those of you who are visitors from the community, but also our partners? Really appreciate you coming today. I'd also like to express my deep appreciation for our foundation. Foundation board members or donors, are you here today? Doing some great work and some great plans underway to expand the fundraising efforts. I'm very appreciative of that. Finally, last but not least, I want to express my appreciation for our Board of Trustees, partly for deciding me to be able to take on this responsibility of being your new superintendent president, but also just to acknowledge the work that they do. It never ceases. I know that they're all very dedicated to this college and the community. It's remarkable, their efforts. Is Board President Trustee Harris here today? I want to thank him. I know that Trustee Fred Baca and Trustee Dr. Ted Baca weren't able to make it today, but I want to acknowledge them as well. Trustee Tim Hayden. Thank you. And our newest trustee, Paul Wilkie. Thank you. Okay, so why are we all gathered here today? The answer to this question is simple and one that I will be returning to throughout my remarks this morning, and that I intend to remind myself and everyone that I'm going to be working with day in and day out. The sole purpose that we are here is because of students, right? Of course. Our students succeed. That's why we are here. Every conversation, every decision, every inquiry, I hope, will always be guided by the purpose that we share together in serving our students. Preparing for today's talk to you, I asked staff to send me some stories about our students' successes. It was really a great pleasure. It was very enjoyable reading those stories, and I wanted to start today by sharing some of those with you. Serving as a corporal in the United States Marine Corps and being a full-time college student is not easy. But that didn't stop Corporal Christopher Wilson of Camp Pendleton from pursuing his dreams. He sought a college where he could obtain an affordable degree online, and we all know what a wonderful online program we have at the college and have for quite some time. And a college that provided the flexibility he needed to fit school into his busy life as a soldier. Barstow Community College was that college that allowed him to realize his dream. He graduated from BCC first in 2014 with a humanities degree and a 4.0 GPA. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to attend commencement that time because he was deployed in Afghanistan at the time. He again graduated, came back to BCC to complete another associate's degree in social science this past May. Again, he earned a 4.0 GPA. Christopher's professional aspirations involve going back into the Marines as an officer once he obtains his bachelor's degree. He's been accepted to some pretty impressive schools, Pepperdine, University of Pennsylvania, and Princeton University, all with opportunities for full-ride scholarships. We understand from Christopher that he intends to attend Princeton University, where he will receive full-time aid and grants. Pretty impressive for a Barstow Community College graduate. Kiana Harris. Kiana shared that working with young children had been a dream of hers since she was a young child herself. She knew she wanted to give assistance to children and their families, helping them to develop and enhance their skills. Kiana admits that she did not know what to do to fulfill this dream, but she knew she was willing to do whatever it took. Not until she reached her 30s did Kiana find the courage to come to college, to come to Barstow Community College. She credits her instructors and classmates for helping her to overcome her fears and to motivate her to work through the Early Child Development Program. This past May, she graduated with her Associates of Science degree in that field, and she is currently working as an associate preschool teacher with the Apple Valley Unified School District and plans to continue her education to earn her BA as well as her teaching credential. I love this. Kiana says that assisting assisting not just children, but the community is an indescribable joy. This is the kind of attitude and wanting to help others and give back to the community is the kind of attitude that's inculcated at this college. Ruben Ramirez was born and raised in Barstow. He admits to having made many bad decisions early in life, one of which was dropping out of high school in the 10th grade. He started working with his father, doing backbreaking work for less than minimum wage in the construction field. In his late 20s, Ruben decided to get his GED and to get what he called a legit job. But because of his record, employers wouldn't hire him, not even with his GED. His desperation led him to more trouble with the law and prison. When he was released, he made efforts to change the course of his life. So he enrolled in a trade school, first in Sacramento. He graduated with a certificate in a year, but after graduation, he found himself with a big student loan, debt, and he was only able to land a few low-paying jobs. Ruben had to figure out another course. In 2013, he decided to go back to school again and chose this time Barstow Community College. He came to us not knowing what career path he would choose, but Ruben credits his instructor, Roland O'Neill, for introducing him to the Industrial Maintenance and Technology program. He was told the program offered a wide range of opportunities in different positions, so he signed up full-time with the goal to have a great job less than 1 year from when he graduated. I'm thrilled to tell you that Ruben met his goal and even graduated with honors. With a dual associate degree in industrial maintenance, mechanic, and industrial maintenance, electrical, and instrumentation. And 1 month after he graduated, he was offered and accepted employment with Cal Portland, a buildings materials company here in the high desert, starting at over $25 an hour. Right? All of this was due to hard work and dedication on his part, and he took advantage of all the opportunities that Barstow Community College offered. He was part of clubs, community activities, fundraising for the community, and he received honors throughout his educational journey, including the Diligence Award and an Edison Scholarship. These student success stories are testament that through the students' courage and hard work, and with a very great deal of support, encouragement, and assistance from college faculty and staff, the vision Barstow Community College has established for itself has become reality in the lives of many students. You can see the vision of empowering students to achieve their personal best through excellence in education, and Barstow's associated mission to provide students with the tools to achieve their personal goals and professional growth are inspiring and worthy of fulfillment. I commend the college for having established these, along with a clear and significant set of strategic priorities. As we enter the closing year of the college's current strategic planning cycle and prepare for an accreditation visit this spring, you can hardly wait, a visit which culminates over 18 months of institutional self-evaluation, and I want to thank all of you who have been involved in that effort. This work is required for the college to maintain its status as an accredited institution of higher education, and I invite you at this time to begin to revisit and expand the frame within which we consider our purpose. The original vision of public higher education in the United States saw higher education as vital not only to the social and economic well-being of individuals like you've heard the stories about this morning, but also education is needed to maintain a healthy republic, to maintain a healthy state and healthy communities. Advanced learning and the acquisition of knowledge was envisioned as essential to cultivating a society capable of self-government and building an economy driven by an entrepreneurial spirit. Our deep concerns today focus on the growing inequalities that we see in our society. Inequalities in wealth, inequalities in the quality of life and health. This is all tied to access to higher education and to the associated access to jobs that increasingly require post-secondary credentials. What I've just described now is part of the current dialogue about higher education at the national and state levels. This view is certainly one being communicated by our new Chancellor, who oversees all of the 114 community colleges, of which we are part of that system. Our Chancellor, Eloy Ortiz Oakley, he was Superintendent President at Long Beach City College and my boss for the last 10 years while I was away from Barstow. As part of Eloy's team, I know that he has bold aspirations for the community colleges, and he will relentlessly push us. Believe me, he pushed me for the last 10 years. I have many more gray hairs, but I'm covering them up more recently. He will push us, but he will also provide support to the best of his ability to transform our colleges, originally designed to meet society's needs of the 1960s. But we have to transform in order to meet the pressing needs of today. Building on the state-level initiatives that arose from the Student Success Act in 2014, I know there are many positive changes for students that will result from the direction that our colleges will be expected to move. And on a side note, I want to share with you that Chancellor Oakley is keeping a special eye on Barstow. Prior to my departure from Long Beach to make my way back home here, Eloy made a visit to campus, and he let me know that he expected within 3 years, I'm telling you, the guy pushes really hard, he expects to see Barstow make it to the list of winners of the Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence. For those of you who haven't heard, the $1 million Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence, which is awarded every 2 years, is the nation's signature recognition of high achievement and performance among American community colleges. The prize recognizes institutions for exceptional student outcomes in 4 areas: student learning, certificate and degree completion, employment and earnings, and high levels of access and success for minority and low-income students. So I feel that I've got some marching orders, and I hope that we can pull together, and who knows, in 3 years or maybe 6, we'll be among the Aspen Prize winners. I hope so. A few weeks ago, Chancellor Oakley communicated a vision for success for our community colleges, including clear goals centered on the current and future needs of California. The vision for success is framed as a series of 7 commitments. I like that. Commitments that we must make in order to move our colleges to even greater success in meeting the needs of our students and our communities. I find these commitments compelling and important commitments that I hope you will all consider for adoption as your own professional commitments. And I know that some of you, many of you, both individuals and teams, have already begun to apply these to the work that you do every day. The 2 commitments that I want to focus on and emphasize this morning especially, are those that, the first one, focusing relentlessly on students' end goals, and also the commitment that encourages us to use data and evidence to check on how we're doing in helping our students achieve their end goals. So on that note, we're going to talk about the evidence. And I just want to tell you that over the years, some of you know I used to be researcher at Barstow, and that was part of my role at Long Beach. But I have made dozens of presentations to faculty, to staff, to boards of trustees, showing student outcome data. I know that audiences can receive data one day and return to their same daily routines the next. There's no wonder the measures at most of our colleges have been stubbornly resistant to change. But when we really look at the evidence and translate those numbers into the student experience, we can't help but acknowledge that too few of the students we are serving are achieving their end goals. I ask you to join me in courageously looking at the evidence and refusing to accept it as the status quo. I'm an educational researcher, and I know that there are community colleges in our country of similar size to Barstow. They're also rural, and their students come from backgrounds that have not helped to prepare them for college going or for the rigors of college-level work. But when we focus on those indicators that align with students' end goals and commit ourselves to trying what has been shown to produce dramatic positive results, or to experimenting with approaches that many of you have probably already considered, then a new reality will take shape and we will achieve bold outcomes expected by the state, but more importantly, expected by and deserved for our students. So I'm going to show you some data, not a lot, promise not to have tables or anything, but some of these are kind of sobering. So first, just to say, the data show that in Barstow, only 1 in 10 of our 18 to 24-year-olds enroll in a California community college. We have a lot of work to do still in access, and the partnerships that we have with Unified and other schools or charter schools, this is part of the indicator that I hope we can see really change over the coming years. Continuing to look at the evidence, less than 4 in 10 of our students complete a credential that's either a certificate or an associate's degree or transfer within 6 years. And you know that the public still thinks of community colleges as two-year institutions, even though we know there's lots of part-timers. But the point is, there's the 6 in 10 that still aren't completing during that time period. Comparatively, nearly half complete at the state. So there's lots of work to be done at all levels, and particularly for us. Another metric, lots of students we know come unprepared. They're being placed in remedial education. But this is really sobering as well. Of the students that get placed at the lowest level in English courses, less than 10% complete the transfer level course, which is required for completion within 2 years. In math, again, those placed at the lowest level, look at the few numbers who actually get through transfer level in 2 years. Again, these are the kinds of foundational courses that our students need to complete. So it's kind of quiet, and I really intended that because this is the kind of stuff that I study all the time, look at, and have been really engaged in trying to understand, watch other colleges develop innovations that change these kinds of numbers. And I'll tell you, there are things out there, things that people are trying that are working. And there's also things that I know Barstow Community College is engaged in that are really right in line with those kinds of things that will really make a difference. So the evidence shows that although there are some wonderful success stories that we can point to and certainly celebrate, there are far too many students whose expectations for going to college or taking those courageous first steps and actually achieving their end goals are not being met. This is the evidence that keeps me up at night and that I share with you with a deep sense of urgency and with a promising way forward, a way forward based on solid research on community colleges around the nation, an approach that makes sense, that responds to what students have been telling us they really want and need to reach their goals. Everyone in the state will be certainly hearing more about guided pathways, and we will be expected by the Chancellor to begin implementation over the coming years. And our funding will be tied to the use of this framework as well. So this morning I want to just give you a glimpse really through immersing ourselves in the student experience a little bit, hearing their aspirations and sometimes their frustrations. Disappointments. I think we're going to, here we go, thank you. Anyway, this is coming from the state, and it's kind of a nice, simple introduction to something that we don't intend to be scary. It's really very straightforward, but you'll hear about guided pathways.
My story begins, like so many classic tales, with our hero, me, in a green apron, scrawling a name on a cardboard cup. As I watch a well-dressed patron slurp up the equivalent value of my hourly wage, I think about my college degree. I've completed 98 units. That's more than what I need to graduate, but I'm still a semester short. And unless I switch my major to quantum mechanics and invent a time machine, my get a degree in 2 years plan is out of reach.
When it comes to education, we all don't learn the same. We all have different types of learning styles. We all come from different backgrounds.
So many classes to choose from. They just gave you this sheet of paper and there was like, pick a class from here, and there was like 30 classes and they only had it by their number. I didn't even have the name of the classes, so you're like, all right, I guess I'll have to look into it.
I want to know that I'm taking the correct courses, doing what I have to do to obtain a degree. When there's lack of communication, sometimes the students don't really feel that they have that support and they don't end up finishing their degree.
It's California's responsibility to help people with that support because it's so big. We should all have support every single day.
Is that Jen? The student in my physics class 2 years ago? Didn't she say she was studying to be an environmental engineer? I thought she would have graduated by now. I know the system doesn't always make it easy, but our college is committed to student success, and we work at it every day. Our completion rate should be solid. We need a way to help students complete college on time. We need to improve the process without losing the experience of discovery. We need guided pathways. Guided Pathways is an integrated student success system that... Oh, here we go. Clearer pathways and better communication? A support system that puts student outcomes first? This is exactly what I've been saying all along. We need clarity. We need structures that make sense to students. We need another cappuccino.
Guided Pathways provide an opportunity for the college to focus our many student success efforts into an integrated framework of student support.
When you really take a hard look at the data, and if you're really willing to analyze yourself, it's really very sobering, to be honest. You have a moral imperative to change what it is that you're doing to help meet the needs of our students. It's not enough just to say the students couldn't handle it and they had to go elsewhere. To me, it's our responsibility to make sure that they can succeed.
For me, it's like when I have a ticket to fly somewhere on a plane and I've got that ticket, I want to get to the end, but if TSA and the baggers and the ticket counter and the escalators and everything aren't all working in concert to get me to that plane, I could do pieces right but not get at the end of my goal. So that's what I think all of the people that are working on pathways across every different discipline and silo and work group, that's what they're going to be able to do. They're going to look from the student perspective and then help them make it to the end.
This is something that we've needed for a long, long time. It's a new way of doing business.
We've always expected students to be college ready, but now we really need to be student ready. We need to make sure that we are, in all of our practices, putting students at the forefront and not having that be an afterthought, as opposed to what's easiest for us or what's best for us.
We are the pathway for the masses. We are the pathway for the future economy of California. And we need to figure out what it is that we need to do a better job of training our students so that they can achieve their dreams, so that they can go out and achieve their career aspirations and contribute to California's economies.
Hey, so I'm back. Nope, not back behind the coffee counter, back in college. Do I seem a little more upbeat? Well, yeah, I've got a clearer path to a college degree. I found the classes I need to graduate, and I can track my progress the entire way. Soon I'll have a degree and a career and a house. For now, I have class with my favorite professor.
When they come into college, in a Guided Pathways college, they're now focused more within a program, a major or a meta major. So immediately the student finds community. Rather than wandering, taking classes here and there, they're surrounded by a community of faculty within that area of interest.
It is not for the faint-of-hearted, but we are having brave and courageous conversations. Together we are locking arms and we're making students at the absolute center of everything that it is that we are doing and the main purpose for the reason for change. So it's not about us individually or collectively, it's about our students, and it makes the decisions ultimately very easy to make.
I took my current role as dean because one of my friends, a faculty member from Cabrillo, said, I think this is the one thing I want to end my career on because I think it's really going to make a change for our students. And that's pretty much what I think too.
So did you all notice our very own public information officer, Ms. Clark, in there? Anyway, we'll all be hearing a bit more about guided pathways, but really simply, what does it mean for students? As you just heard, it's clarity about how to step forward towards completion, more guidance from our wonderful counselors and advisors early on and throughout their educational journeys, addressing those data points that I shared with you about moving through those foundational English and math courses, having improved placement activities, which I know Barstow has been involved in, working on our basic skills education, reducing unit accumulation, all of these things, increasing the chances for students to complete and transfer. 4 pillars of guided pathways. These will become some of our guideposts, I think. Makes it pretty simple when we just really look at the student's journey. Okay, there we go, sorry about that. Look at the student's journey and just break it down to them entering, having clarity at entry, to choose pathways that tie to career outcomes. Those are the things students worry about and need to have resolved. They choose their pathway, they get on that pathway. We help them stay on that pathway. I know this makes it sound very simple, but when you really focus on these phases of the student's experience, it really helps them. And then, of course, the hard work of our faculty all along the way, ensuring that they're learning with intentionality about the outcomes that we know are essential for them to succeed with their advanced education and with their jobs. So, a lot of work that is moving in the right direction here at Barstow Community College. Things I read about before I came back and things that I'm observing just in the last month, talking to people, going out to Fort Irwin, having people, staff, faculty share the kinds of things that are going on here. There's some really good things. I know that you've been addressing this remediation challenge that I talked about through new placement practices. Also, I know that there's models of acceleration. These things we know work, and I'm really pleased to see that you're advancing those kinds of ideas. I see that the faculty here at Barstow have developed 9 associate degrees for transfers. We know that these things are attractive to students. They help streamline the process towards a degree. Some of my studies of the ADTs at Long Beach, we're seeing that they really do shave the total number of units off for students. That translates into time towards getting faster to their degree completion, and time where they could get their degrees or get their jobs and start earning a living wage. So this is a very promising practice that's already showing great success. There are CTE programs that are getting students really good jobs. I'm hearing a lot about this, very impressive, in one of the student stories that I shared with you earlier. We've got a lot happening also, work focused on equitable access and student success outcomes. There's just an army of folks who are dedicated to this, and I commend you for that good work. I want to just briefly highlight some of the things that I know are happening and we'll all be hearing more about. One of the things that I'm really excited about is the Barstow Area Consortium for Adult Education that was recently established. There's a good deal of funding, over $2 million coming from the state through the Adult Education Block Grant that is supporting the Barstow area. It's addressing regional needs that we have. You know, that first data point that I showed you, access to college, students getting into college, knowing about college, focusing on things like expanding ESL, high school diploma, GED opportunities, other courses that help students from adult ed transitioning into college. There's also going to be funding through this source to support our CTE courses that we know they're really great ones that are clearly leading to industry recognized certifications and good living wage jobs. And also, as I mentioned, transitioning services that we hope to see at the college here soon enhanced to transition adult learners to the community college. The other thing, hopefully everybody is aware of, this is a really cool thing, I think, that Barstow really shown at the state level, was part of a competition. Only 14 schools won funding for a college promise program. So you should be very proud of that. That's a partnership with Barstow Unified. Great work. Barstow Unified School District, Baker and Silver Valley Unified School Districts, also partnering with the mayor. It's wonderful to connect education with the city so that we're clearly understanding the economic development opportunities and potentially create internships for students who go through this program. But we're in the first cohort, and I've got to tell you, I've been getting weekly updates, I think, from Student Support Services, and there may be more now, but there were 165 students registered in 12 or more units. And when I was reading the original proposal that won the money to begin doing this, the target was just 100 students for the promise. So really want to thank everybody, the outreach, the communication, the efforts to get out and show the value to our community of tuition free in this College Promise program. So please give a hand to all of those. The other thing, of course, I had to ask the ethnic breakdown, getting more data about those students. And I'm pleased to report that that first cohort of Promise students show that those historically underserved students of color who are usually underrepresented in the data that I'm seeing getting into college, they're overrepresented in the Promise. That means we're reaching the students who need it the most. So I really look forward to seeing how this cohort achieves their goals. So thanks again for really providing the extra support to them. Boy, lots going on in career and technical education. I had the privilege and great fun of seeing the facility at State Street. And wow, what an impressive facility and faculty and the leadership there. It's really wonderful. The other thing that came across my email a couple of weeks ago was a message again from the Chancellor's office where Barstow College was recognized for earning a strong workforce star recognition. This was in the small business sector, and it was based on analysis that they did on graduates of students from those programs. They were documented to have a pretty high percentage of those students who participated in those offerings attaining a regional living wage. So that's what we want. We want programs that actually help students to get good jobs, and that data is already known at the state level, and we were acknowledged for that. So I want to thank our CTE faculty and deans for that great work. Thank you. The other thing, and you may have heard this, the efforts to secure over $1 million in grants by the CTE and workforce development area. Some great things that are happening recently, the acquisition of a tactical military vehicle for the diesel technology program. This is wonderful because I understand that two of the largest employers in our local community need employees who have this kind of experience. So it's wonderful that down at State Street they can get that applied experience that will enhance their opportunity, hopefully to get jobs with those employers. Another thing that I've heard about but haven't yet had the opportunity to witness, over the summer, the CTE area hosted the 9th annual CTE STEM Summer Youth Program. That sounds like a really great thing. This year's events, I am told, included robotics and computer programming, automotive maintenance, manufacturing, business management, and marketing. Students participated in other events, including community service. It's another big theme here in Barstow, which is wonderful. Career exploration, college awareness, and many other activities over a period of 4 weeks. Great program for our students. They also have contract training programs designed specially for employers in areas of industrial maintenance, mechanic, welding, and occupational safety and health administration. Again, demonstrating the flexibility of the college and our faculty and administrators in offering what's needed to meet the local needs. The other thing I'm informed is that there's been lots of input from advisory committees in the community and labor market analyses that have led to lots of faculty curricular development in this area. So it looks like we can look forward to programs, a number of programs in a variety of areas that will be good for our students, good for our economy. Good stuff. I want to thank all of those from CTE. The other thing that I mentioned as well is the lots of individuals focused on student equity, equity in access, equity in success. So I know there's going to be lots of dedicated effort toward integrating the work that's been recently funded by different streams of funds for basic skills, specifically student equity, and our student support services programs. I understand that the college will be launching an early alert system in fall. And I know this is not an easy thing to do, but something that's really valuable for students. The intention is it'll increase the communication between students and faculty, connecting students to the supports that they need when the need is identified. Really important, very effective. Hopefully it'll help our students use the great supports that are available here and ultimately increase their course success rates, retention, and completion. Another thing that I just recently learned about is the establishment of the Barstow BRASS, Brothers Reaching Academic Success and Service. That's a great acronym, by the way, I think. Through the BRASS program, these students are provided with an avenue to build a brotherhood by connecting with one another. Students are supported by staff, counselors, administration, and peer mentors of the Student Success and Equity Department of the Vice President of Student Support Services Office. As a group, members work towards the common goal of overcoming personal and academic barriers. In addition, the program provides resources and advocates to support academic success, both inside and outside the classroom. Members focus on being role models to promote improvements on our campus and in the community. I love that, and I really look forward to meeting some of the members and learning more about what it does. I just want to kind of bring this talk to a close by saying that just like the BRASS Brotherhood, all of us need to join together with our common purpose and commitment to not settling for the status quo for our students. We need to rise together with full intention to achieve the bold goals we are expected to embrace. I believe that we can do it. I returned to Barstow because I believe in all of you. I believe in this college and I believe in this community and in our capacity and will to pull together with a relentless focus on students and their end goals and with the courage to seek out the evidence that tells us if we are truly helping many more of our students reach their end goals. I promise that I will do all that I can do to help us get there. And I ask you to help me and for you to help and take care of one another at being our best and providing our very best for our students. And I just wanted to share, this is one of my favorite quotes from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We're now faced with the fact that tomorrow is today. We're confronted with the fierce urgency of now. In this unfolding conundrum of life and history, there is such a thing as being too late. There is no time for apathy or complacency. This is a time for vigorous and positive action. Every cohort of students that ends with the statistics that I showed you earlier includes far too many students who have experienced us as having been too late in helping them reach their goals. We are truly faced with a fierce urgency of now, and I invite you to join me in addressing that urgency. Thank you.